All right, welcome everybody. I've got joining me today Dr. Vance Cooper. And Dr. Vance works in leadership, development, and with students and organizations, helping people uncover leadership potential they may not realize they have. He believes leadership starts with how we see ourselves, not with titles, and that everyone is leading someone. So be a leader is really the message. His views strongly align with our views with the Harada method, and therefore he's going to join us. And he's going to join us over the next 17 weeks. And this little series is going to be on you as an educator. What are you going to do with students, and how can you work through this app with your students? Because really, it's about you engaging your students in doing what they love to do, which is looking at the future and making it happen. And we don't realize that sometimes. So, Dr. Vance, welcome. Really, the question today we're going to cover is the two-step process. One, getting a student to believe in themselves, and two, picking a big goal. So, you right now, you're going to be the student, and I'm going to ask you, what big goal did you choose?
So the big goal that I choose is that I want to be a world-class speaker and trainer
Wonderful.
internationally.
Wow, good. So wonderful. So we're gonna. You would normally write that down in the app, so I'll get you to do that after this session. Also, I'd like you to go in, introduce yourself under big goals, put a picture of yourself, put the introduction that I just shared with everybody, or your own introduction, and share your big goal with everybody. That's the exercise as a student, simple, and that might take 5 minutes or less. Okay, that's it for the student. Step one is done, and step one is easy, but not. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about what a teacher, what an educator has to do to get their students to believe in themselves. So maybe you have a little insight on this.
So what I think that in order for to get the students to believe in themselves, the key is to have them calm down. A lot of times when we get a little like a little riled up, we need to just take some time to just breathe and just like deep breaths and just remain calm because a lot of times we end up we're just overthinking when we get to that way.
Yeah, so I think if they're thinking about the past, they might be a little stressed, a little depressed, maybe the future, a little stressed and excited, maybe. So be in the now, really, is what you're saying. Take a deep breath, be in the now, and, you know, work with a mind of peace in some ways to get your big goal. Okay.
Exactly.
Wow, wonderful. So in business, we do this thing called we used to do this thing called I want you to think deeply about something and think your way to a new way of doing things. And we realized over years that that's wrong. You got to behave your way into a new way of thinking. So one of the things, as an educator, you probably should get into the book called The Growth Mindset and look at things that you can say to students that will really stifle their growth versus enable them to grow quicker. So this is the wonderful thing about how we can use words to help them grow and ask them about the process they're using versus, hey, you're a genius. Here's the end result, and then sometimes they may not even try because they're thinking they're a genius. They could fail. So tell me a little more about that.
No, I think it's exactly that. I think that it's more so about instilling finding a way to be able to instill confidence in yourself. Just but it's because you have to be able to believe that you can accomplish it before you're able to actually do it. That belief starts before you even start taking action. So I think it really starts with that. So sometimes it has to be some sort of external stimuli that sparks that belief. So whether it's somebody, it could be somebody affirming you, it might be something that you read, It might be a goal, like a small goal that you accomplish, whatever it takes to be able to instill that belief within yourself.
Yeah. And you're an educator. So, hey, do it. Do it your own way. Try to bring students along. And now, encouragement and setting up the environment for doing this is what your job is, right? You can't will your dreams onto your student, but Lord knows that happens. Sometimes you might say to your student, "Look, I'm an engineer. I'd like you to be an engineer," and all of a sudden, that's their goal. Try to get it from within them, not imposing it on them. So, do you have any ideas of how they could phrase that or talk about that, Dr. Vance?
Well, the first thing that you want to do is you want to have them, you want to start with that vision, that big vision. I don't think that there's an age where you never get, you're never too young or too old to really start talking about that big vision. So I think that once you have a big vision, that's when you're able to really kind of see where you are before you actually get there. So I think that the key is just instilling the fact that they need to figure out what that big vision is, what their preferences are, what some of the things that they're like are. Just really asking them and really taking. Sometimes you got to pull it out of the students. But really just taking a deep dive into figuring out what their interests are and then helping them develop a vision around their particular interests.
Yeah, wonderful. So, as I think about what you're saying, it really requires you not just to believe in them, so they can believe in themselves. And we've got we've got this wonderful thing called and the most valuable resource in the world called kids. And I think a kid is anybody under 35 right now. But the point is, they're 15 to 18 years old. They're in high school. That's our target market. And you're a high school teacher or you're an educator, look it up. How do you get people to believe in themselves? How do you do it? How do you believe in yourself? And one thing I would do is ask them to do one small thing before tomorrow, right? Give them one little task or ask them what they should be doing to work towards their goal. So, what's the first step? That's critical. Give them the first step, guide them along. And then after they make their first step, celebrate, right? So that's important. Celebrate, then they see the evidence that they can do it. And then the big goal for them is as big as they can dream. You can be the number one at what you're doing or the only one like Shohei Ohtani, the only one. And when he did this OW64, he was in high school and he wanted to be the first round draft pick in a Japanese league. Okay, so he dreamed extremely big. If you can't dream it, you can't achieve it. So dream big. Any final comments, Dr. Vance?
No, I think you pretty much summed it up. You have to, at some point, it seems like us as adults, at some point in our lives, during our development, we stop dreaming. And the key is to really never stop dreaming, even as we grow older, because that dream is going to be tied to that big vision. And we want to be able to set our goals around that big vision that we have. So always remember it's very important that we never stop running away from those big, big dreams.
Right. So this part is step one, clarity. Just to be clear, vision is critical and get them to do one small step at the same time. And log that into the community if you're using our community. All right, take care, and we'll see you at step two.